Hi friends, this is Sarojin here. Welcome to my networking channel. Hope all are doing good. And today the topic I'm going to discuss about BIM designated router. So BIM designated router work in the sparse mode scenario. So what is the function of BIM designated router? Yeah, as per this architecture, it will take the BIM join message from the receiver. That is R4 I configured as a receiver and R1 is a source. So this I configured the RP itself. That is a rendezvous point. So designated router will take the PIM join message from the receiver, then it will register at the RP. So it will go via R4 to R3 to R1. So that is the way it will work. So because RP is a meeting place for forwarding or receiving the multicast traffic, right? So it will always receive the multicast traffic from the receiver. So we have to add some multicast group over here. Then it will automatically send a PIM join message to R2 and R3. Since there are two routers, what happen? It will take the PIM join same message from both R2 and R3 will receive the PIM join message from the R4. What happened? Both will forward the same multicast stream to R1. So that will result in duplication, packet duplication and wastage of bandwidth. To prevent that situation, one will be elected as a designated router by default. So always a router with the highest IP address. So out of these three routers, this will be elected because this is having the highest IP address. So R3 will be elected as a designated router. So this designated router will take the PIM join message from R4 and it will register at the RP, that is the R1. So that is the architecture. So now I'm going to configure the PIM sparse mode on all these router. Then I'm going to configure the RP address for all these routers. Then I'm going to configure the routing protocol. So these are the things I'm going to configure. So now let us go one by one. Let us go to interface fast Ethernet 0 by 0. Let us enable the sparse mode. Sparse mode and go to the configuration mode, interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1. Let us configure the sparse mode. Then let us configure the RP address. RP address is loopback address 1.1.1. So IP PIM RP address is 1.1.1. Then let us configure the routing protocol. Router OSPF 100. Let us define the network 0.0.0.0. So this is for defining all the networks. So it will advertise all the networks connected to the connected interfaces. Then area 0, that is a backbone area, right? Similar way, let us go to R2. So I configure on both these interfaces. So R2 has two interfaces. Go to R2, go to the configuration mode, interface fast Ethernet 0 by 0. So it has also two interfaces. So three things I need to do. I have to configure the sparse mode, then followed by the RP address, then I have to configure the routing protocol. Right? These are the three things. Then PIM sparse mode. Then we'll configure the RP address. IP PIM RP address is 1.1.1. Then let us enable the routing protocol. 0.0.0.0 255.255.255.255 area 0. So we are done with R2. So only pending is R3 and R4. Let us quickly configure. Go to the configuration mode, and R3 also has two interfaces, faster than 0 by 1 and 1 by 0. So interface faster than 0 by 1, IP PIM sparse mode, and also 1 by 0, right? Faster than 1 by 0 IP PIM sparse mode. Then we'll configure the RP address. IP PIM RP address is 1.1.1. That is the R1. R1 is elected as a RP rendezvous point. So that RP address is 1.1.1. Then let us define the protocol. Router OSPF 100 network 0.0.0.0 255.255.255.255 area 0. Right? Similar way, now let us go to, so we have done with the configuration in R3. Only R4 is pending. R4 have only one interface, fast Ethernet 1 by 0. So go to configuration mode, interface, fast Ethernet 1 by 0, IP PIM, sparse mode. Then let us configure the RP address. IP PIM RP address is 1.1.1. Let us advertise the routing protocol. Router OSPF 100 network 0.0.0.0 sorry 255.255.255.255 area 0. So this fast Ethernet 1 by 0, right? So now let us see, show run interface fast Ethernet 1 by 0. So here another thing I want to show you. So here I already created the group IP IGMP join group 239 1.1. That means This will register with the group multicast to 239.1.1 after pinging from R4, right? So after or when R4 started streaming this multicast traffic 213.1.1 towards this source, that is RP, automatically it will send a registered message to RP. Now you can see the difference. So now let us quickly enable the PIM protocol. Debug IP PIM, and also let us ping it, do the here debug IP PIM, and let us debug IP PIM. So debug IP PIM. So I'm going to stream the traffic, multicast traffic from this application. So let us do ping 239.1.1, repeat. Let us do 10 packets. So what happened immediately, you can see the join, receive join prune message. That means this automatically R4 will send a join message towards this RP. So what happened, this either of this router should take this join message and it should register with the RP. That is, it's very simple. So let us see now. It is sending the PIM join message, right? It is sending the join message with this as the source, 34.1 as a source, and this is the multicast address, that is S, G. It is following S, G notation, and it is sending the join message. So now what it is, S bit is set, that is a sparse mode S bit, and this is S, G. So this is the shortest path tree, right? S, G, it is sending a join message towards the RP. So now let us see the changes in R3, because R3 should be elected as a designated router which should take the PIM join message to the RP, right? So how to check it? Go to R2 and let us do the show IP PIM neighbor. You can see which is the designated router. So here, which is the designated router is 34.3 because of the highest IP address. Which interface? Faster than at 1. So this is having the highest IP address, right? Faster than at 1. So what happened? Let us see now. Let us see in the R3 level. So R3, you can see the changes. So what happened? It is sending it is started registering with the RP. So you can start from the scratch. So what happened? It will register with the, so it is sending the registered message to the RP, right? And it will send the, it is seeing receive V2 registered message stop on faster than at 1. So that means what happened? Initially, it will send the registered message, send V2 registered to 1.1 for 192.168.34.1. So that means it is sending the registered message for 34.1 to this corresponding RP. That is the thing you are seeing here. So for faster than at 1, right? So let us scroll up. And let us scroll up and you can see the messages over here. So what is the message you are seeing? 1.1.1 for 192.168.34.1 for the group 239.1, and then it will send a register stop message. You are able to see send V2 register for 34.1, then it will clear the registering flag, then it will send a register stop message. Receive V2 register stop message on faster than at 1. So what happened, right? So immediately whenever it send a PIM join message, automatically this will send a register message to RP. Always it will send a register message with RP. Then RP will send, after receiving the messages, RP will send a register stop message to this R1. That is a thing it is happening. So this PIM join message will be carried from R4 to R3 via R1. This is the architecture. So now let us see here R3. You are able to see, right? So now what are the changes you can see is, it is joining 239.1.1 join in the NBR queue, and it will add the queue automatically. 1.1 is the RP address, 239.111 is the multicast address what we have started streaming from R4, that is a receiver. And what is WC is a wildcard bit, that is it is for shared tree, and RPT is a root path tree. So whenever RP receives any packet or the multicast flow from the receiver, automatically this will join the RPT, that is a root, we call this as a root path tree. So this is root at the source and this is the multicast address. Similarly, to also add the receiver address 34.1 and the multicast address as a RPT bit, that is a root path tree S bit prune. That means it is started sending from the receiver, right? That is the thing you are seeing here. So now we are able to see what is the exact function of PIM designated router. So what happened whenever R4 sends a PIM join message, R3 as a designated router, because of the highest IP address, this will take the PIM join message and it will register at the RP. So still also we can influence the traffic. So now let us go to R1 and let us see. So here also you are seeing, right, received the V2 register message from 190 to 168 2.2. So the register message is flowing from 2.2. It will take from here, then into 2.2. Then it will send a stop message, register stop message to the for the forwarding to group, right? So this is the way it will work. Then automatically you can able to see, right? So this is a pim join message. It is forwarded by the pim join message. So now I'm going to influence the traffic in such a way R2 will become the designated router. So by default, this highest IP address will be elected as a designated router. So by default, we can change the priority. So default R2, R3 and R4 will have the default priority of 1. So I'm going to change it to 100. So I'm going to make this as a designated router. Let us see. Go to R2. Go to the configuration mode. Let us make this as a designated router. Interface fast Ethernet 1 and IP PIM, and the DR priority will make it as 100, right? So after doing this, you can see the changes now. So changing the DR for fast Ethernet from 34.3 to 34.2, you are able to see, right? 34.3 to 34.2. That means, so now the DR changes from R3 to R2. So whenever it will now R4 will send a ping join message, this will take the join message and will register at the RP. Let us see now. I'm going to start the traffic again. So now you can see the changes. It is again sending the pim join message. So now what happened? R2 will take the register. You are able to see, right? So it will take the registered message. Send V2 register to 1.1 for 34.1. You are able to see, right? So R2 is taking the register message and it will register at the RP. Then it immediately will send a register stop message. So after receiving the traffic, it will send a register stop message. So that is the function it will work actually. So now also you can check the neighbor. So IP PIM neighbor. So PIM neighbor which is selected 34.2. So R2 is now elected as a designated router. So I hope you enjoy this video. So let us come to the summary. So the summary is whenever R4 sends a PIM join message, either R2 or R3 which is elected as a designated router will take the PIM join message and will register at the RP. So this is the way the PIM designated work. I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos. Thanks and have a wonderful day. Thank you.